Welcome to the COMC Camdenton Lakers Coaches Show with the big guy, head coach Jeff Shore, brought to you by the great folks at Central Ozarks Medical Center, Polylift Boat Lifts, and Hy-Vee Lake of the Ozarks. Well, look at this, we're back outside, man. After a couple weeks of rain, that orange ball in the sky came out, and we're back here on the Camdenton Lakers practice field with head coach Jeff Shore. It's kind of good to be back outside, isn't it?
Oh, it feels great. Got a great week of weather ahead. Looks like, all the way to Friday night, so we like that for sure.
Absolutely. So we're into week 11 of the season, right? Which means we're in the playoffs. You opened the postseason last week on the road against Jeff City. First ever meeting, I think, between two storied programs in the state. And by golly, you found a way to pull out a win. That was quite the game.
It was a big win for us. It really was a big ball game. Really neat ball game. Jeff City's got such a tradition. They're the Alabama of high school football in Missouri. That type of a team. From my days. In the '80s and then even in the '90s. So it was a really neat night. It was probably a little bigger deal than I even thought, as far as there's still a lot of pride there at Jeff City.
Yep.
Had some interesting things happen. We got there and we had Coach Pete Adkins, the legend, who had won 405 or 6 games. The second winningest coach in the nation when he retired. And I had my dad there, and Coach Cole, who was the guy that took over for Pete, his longtime assistant.
Yeah. And
then, of course, you had Scott Bailey, who's the current head football coach at Jefferson City, who's won 7 state championships. So at Lamar, Missouri. So, between those guys and throwing a little bit of mine in there, and there was over probably 1,300 wins.
Wow. And
22 state titles in that little group. And so that was kind of fun, That was right before the game, and got to visit with them and got a picture with Coach Adkins. And
how special was
that?
Yeah,
it was a pretty, if you like football,
yeah.
If you like Missouri high school football, that was a pretty good, that was a pretty neat grouping of
I wish we would have had our Lake TV cameras there for that, because that must have been really neat. And if you guys had time to sit down, which you probably didn't, have a cup of coffee and tell stories, that would have been something else.
Well, Coach Bailey said we ought to just go on down to the restaurant and let Coach Adkins and Big Coach Shore coach us that night. So, no, it was a neat night, and for our kids to come out and play like that and play so good and such an exciting ball game, was really, it was a fun night for Camdenton Lakers.
So you jumped out to a lead. You let them back in it just before halftime. Second half, nip and tuck all the way, comes down to the final seconds. I mean, that was quite the roller coaster ride for Coach Jeff Shore, huh?
A great ball game. Our kids did a really good job once again of not letting the momentum shift. Get them down. They kept playing hard. We took a 21-7 lead and kind of looked like we might kind of run with it.
Yeah.
There. And Jeff City's credit, they did a good job of hanging around, and we have a propensity to shoot ourselves in the foot at times. So we did a few things to keep them there, and then they ended up taking the lead actually in the ball game. And then, we fought back, took it back, and then, tied going into the last 4 minutes. We put together a great drive, had a fantastic 3rd and 18. Wormsley did a great job escaping, just kind of a really fantastic play. They had a lot of pressure on him and threw one up to Coop, and Coop made a fantastic catch to get us the first down, and that kept the drive alive. And then, then we kind of got in our power eye and put it in Faulkner's hands and really blocked well, and got it down there in field goal range. Felt good about that.
Yeah.
And took a shot at the end zone. Landon Thomas, call him the Roach Rattler. He's out there where I'm from, Roach, Missouri.
Yeah.
I looked at him and said, "Hey, you want to catch a big touchdown pass here for a game winner?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I do." So 17 seconds on the clock. We ran a little play action, and we'd run at him so much we figured he might be wide open, and he was, and put it on him and got it in there. And 7 seconds left to score the winning touchdown.
Oh,
so
man.
I know I started play-by-play, but boy, it was an exciting game, and I was proud of our guys for just playing so hard.
How special is that? So is the team, it almost seems like as the year has gone on, I mean, you've had your challenges and all that good stuff, but it seems you just keep getting better and better. It seems like you're playing your best football right now.
We hope. You know, like I said, it's been a little bit of a roller coaster ride. You know, we went to Glendale a couple weeks back and thought that, and then went down to Raleigh and did not play like I thought we could play. But we did bounce back, so that's a great thing. So we got to keep from, as I say, eating the poison of, hey, we're here, we've arrived, you know.
Yeah.
So we got to have a great week of practice and get ready to go. And, you know, we'll be excited about playing.
You know, this team, and you mentioned it a little bit earlier, they have this year, they've had kind of that thing going, the snake bite thing, where they tend to shoot themselves in the foot at just the wrong time, and it costs you guys, or at least it makes you overcome more, like you did last week to get there. If they play a clean game, this team can be really dangerous.
I think that's a great point. We were just talking about that to one of my assistants, Coach Bruck. We were talking a little bit about that. So, yeah, if we can put together a clean game, you know, who knows? You know what I mean?
Wow.
So, you know, we just got to be ready for all of it. Like I said, we have had some issues this year. When we get it going, we have a tendency to sabotage ourselves a little bit. So hopefully, hopefully this Friday we can put together a really good one.
This is your COMC Camdenton Lakers Coaches Show with the big guy, head coach Jeff Shore, heading into week 2 of the playoffs, and we'll talk about the matchup with the number 1 seed in the district. It's going to be an interesting game. Is there a difference between playoff football and regular season football?
Absolutely, I think so. I mean, I think their intensity level is definitely heightened. The excitement level, and you got to remember, after you start with 64 teams, Class 5. After last Friday, there's only 32 left. You know, so your ultimate goal is obviously always to get to the state championship game. I mean, that's we talk about that a lot, and that is our ultimate goal. Obviously, you don't achieve that every year, and it's hard to achieve. It's very hard to achieve, but that's the goal. And you figure you're increasing your percentages by half every time you win one. So, it is exciting.
Yeah, no doubt about that. All right, so we'll continue our conversation with Lakers head coach Jeff Shore here on your COMC Camdenton Lakers Coaches Show. Big matchup, week 2 of the playoffs against the number 1 seed. We'll see what the coach thinks about that when we come back. What is COMC? A health center where everyone has access to high-quality, affordable medical, dental, and behavioral health care, regardless of insurance or ability to pay. Offering primary care, preventative, chronic, pediatrics, and OBGYN. COMC even offers comprehensive dental and same-day emergency care. A health center that focuses on every aspect of your health. Everything your family needs to stay healthy. At COMC, your health is our mission.
Polylift Boat Lifts. Boaters everywhere have relied on Polylift Boat Lifts to raise their boat up and out of the water time and time again. Polylift Boat Lifts are made of the finest materials and offer a lifetime warranty on the tanks. Stop by Polylift and see the huge selection of wet steps, water toys, and dock accessories. You can even shop online at polylift.com. Polylift Boat Lifts. You know what they say.
We don't just build boat lifts, we build Polylifts.
Your time on the water is limited, and Hy-Vee and Osage Beach knows it. Let us do the shopping so you can maximize your lake time. With our Isles online app, you can have your groceries delivered or ready for contactless pickup when you arrive to the lake. With all your grilling favorites, snacks, fresh produce, and home to the lake's largest wine, spirits, and beer department, your weekend at the lake starts with Hy-Vee and Osage Beach, where you'll find a helpful smile in every aisle. Week 2 of the playoffs. Camdenton Lakers on the road again this week against the number 1 seed Washington District playoff game. And you guys, even though they're not in your conference or anything, you're kind of familiar with this team. I mean, you beat them last year in the playoffs.
We did. We played them last year. Of course, we have that game film to refer back to, which helps us probably more on our offensive end than it is our defensive end, because our offense is so unusual. We rarely get a look at another team's defense. We kind of have to fly by the seat of our pants a little bit on game night, see what they're going to be in. Mm-hmm. So, we hopefully have a general idea of how they're going to try to defense this. But, they've got a great record. They're 8-1 coming into the ball game, number 1 seed. Have really rolled on about everybody they played, other than the game they lost. Very good football team. They're very well coached. Play very hard. They have a really fantastic tight end, defensive end. He's a Division I player. I think he's going to Missouri.
Wow.
And he's the real deal, really good player. So they got a lot of good things going for him. And so we're going to have our work cut out for us. But like I said, I think we'll be ready.
Yeah, well, with you as the head coach, I'm pretty sure that you'll
hope.
be ready. Yeah. So and the interesting thing about this Washington team, they do have a great record. They did not beat one team this year with a winning record. They beat a team with a 500 record, I think Union. Everybody else they beat had a losing record. So it makes you wonder how good they really are at 8-1. On the other hand, when you win a lot of games, you get that winning confidence going, and it's tough to beat you.
Yeah, I think that's the key point. Your last point, winning breeds winning.
Yep.
I've always thought that. So, they're going to be hard to beat. And the difference is, like, watch them on film. They are playing extremely hard. Like they're doing what they need to do. They're not taking any downs off. They are really beating their opponents badly. I take that with a grain of salt a little bit because, like I said, winning breeds winning, it'll be a tough game.
Yeah, your kids. We talked about this early in the season. The group that you have this year is used to winning too. I mean, they have won year after year growing up. They've struggled this year for some odd reason, but going into this year, all they knew was winning too. So I think in the back of their mind, they kind of have the feeling that if we find our magic, we can hit that too. And
you're right. And you kind of read my mind. That was my message to him before this last game against Jefferson City. We've won all that, the whole crew. You talk about sophomore, juniors, and seniors have won a lot of football games in their lifetime. And so they know how to win. And like I said, although we've struggled at times, we've never quit playing hard. So as a coach, when your team is really giving a great effort, that there's always really a lot of hope and potential there. So, that's what I really felt good about is that we've played hard, even though we've gone through some rough patches. We've never quit playing hard. So, and you can tell on film, and you can tell other teams that go through rough patches and they don't, keep playing hard. But our guys never quit playing hard. And so, with that being said, just cleaning up some mistakes and stuff, and we did that enough Friday to get a big win. And hopefully we can do it enough this Friday to get another one.
How's the health?
We've had some really gutty performances actually last game. Devin Stamper, our center, who was not able to play against Rolla, which he's been a fantastic center for us for 2 years. I mean, number one. I mean, his snaps are almost perfect to a T in over a 2-year span. That's hard to say.
Yeah.
He got well, and he wasn't full go, and he played against Jeff City, and that really helped us. Cesar Chaparro, our other center, backup center, who did a good job the other night, he was out of the game. He didn't get to play against Jeff City, so hopefully we'll have him back. And other than that, I think we're doing okay. The normal nicks and bruises, as you go through a season, but having those two guys, back kind of healthy in another week will help for sure.
Absolutely. This is your COMC Camdenton Lakers Coaches Show with head coach Jeff Shore, getting ready for week 2 of the playoffs at Washington. What's it like? Have you played there before?
We have played there several times through the years. They've been in our district. The one that comes to mind for me is 1996. J.W. Sweat, and we ran 42 cut back out of the 2 set about 100 times. I think he ran for about 300 yards. So that one just comes to mind. But we've played there several times. A guy named Eddie Batliner had a great catch there off a deflected ball and from the tight end position in 2012, right around that area, or maybe a little earlier than that actually. There's some history there for sure.
Yeah.
We've played them several times through the years. It's been a while since we played there.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a ride. Good place to play.
Yeah.
They're turf now. I think the grass the last time we played there, but I think they're turf now. So it'll be a little bit of a road trip for us.
That's outside of St. Louis.
Yep.
Yeah.
About 3 hours on a bus.
Okay.
So that's a drive.
What is it like on the bus when you're going to the game? Is it quiet, or are the guys boisterous and loud? I'm guessing coming home, it depends on if you win or you lose.
Well, our school's done a great job, but they're providing several buses for us, so we can kind of stay spread out on the bus. So, It's pretty comfortable, actually. It's pretty calm, especially on a long ride.
Yeah.
You know, they're pretty calm, and they're really calm on the way home. We got a lot of kids that don't ride the bus on the way home, ride with parents, because, you know, being here is sometimes if you're coming from somewhere, Osage Beach or whatever, you're going 30 minutes out of your way to get back home, you know. So that's not a good deal. So it's more about just getting there, you know what I mean? It's about getting there. Now, back in the days, we had the Laker bus. You know, that was a quality ride there. It was a little more comfort. So, but no, it's just about getting on the bus, and really, they're pretty calm.
That's greatness. Okay, so it's the Lakers, week 2 of the playoffs at Washington this week. And as always, Coach, we thank you so much for taking the time to join us. We look forward to next week, hopefully after a win, as you get ready for a district championship game again. How sweet would that be?
Oh, that'd be great. I tell you, it's just great that we get to do this again this week. And like I said, super proud of our kids. That was a big win for us. They did a great job.
Yep. You know, here on the COMC Camdenton Lakers Coaches Show, I almost forgot to ask. We are in the playoffs, and there is another side of the bracket. You got Rolla that won last week. So they play the number 2 seed, Battle.
Yep.
That's an interesting side of the bracket. So if you win this week, you'll either play Rolla again or Battle.
Yeah, and I'm going to go to the old coaches deal here, where it's like, you know, I honestly I didn't look at Washington. I had no idea what they're doing till Friday night after I got home, and that'll be the same on the other end.
Absolutely.
So, you know, this time of year, it's definitely the old adage of one at a time.
You don't want to count your chickens.
No,
That's right.
Don't.
And it's do or die, one and done at this point,
Yep,
right?
it is.
Absolutely. COMC Camdenton Lakers Coaches Show, head coach Jeff Shore. So we'll catch up with Jeff again next week. Hopefully talk about a district championship matchup one way or the other. We'll check in with him again next week. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
Guys, thanks for the coverage. Appreciate it.
You bet. Good to be here. That is your COMC Camdenton Lakers Coaches Show, brought to you by the amazing folks at Central Ozarks Medical Center, Poly Lift Boat Lifts, and Hy-Vee Lake of the Ozarks in Osage Beach.